Nina had never imagined she would spend her wedding night like this. The sound of running water came from the bathroom. She sat on the edge of the enormous matrimonial bed, Ethan's phone in her hand, the WhatsApp message on the screen stabbing her heart like a knife. "Hubby, missing you tonight, waiting for your hug. Sender, Blair." Blair, her college roommate, the woman who had beamed brighter than anyone from the front row of today's ceremony at the Connecticut Country Club. Nina's fingers trembled. She scrolled farther up. Every exchange was poison. "Ethan, that fool Nina still doesn't know, right? Relax. She doesn't know a thing. After the wedding we can go public. But you're actually getting married. It's just a license. A piece of paper. My heart belongs only to you." Before we continue, please subscribe to this channel and tell us in the comments where you're listening from. The bathroom doorknob turned. Nina whipped the phone back to the nightstand and pivoted away, pretending to smooth her wedding gown. "Nina?" Ethan's voice drifted over. "Why aren't you asleep?" She turned slowly, staring at the man she had loved for 5 years. Now her husband as of today. A towel rode low on his hips. Beads of water slid from his hair, his handsome face gentle in the lamplight. Yet that gentleness now struck her as false and sickening. "Ethan," she managed, fighting to keep her voice level. "I'm exhausted. I'd like to rest." He frowned, stepped closer, arms reaching to embrace her. Instinctively she flinched back. "What is it?" He froze, irritation flickering across his eyes. "Tonight's our wedding night. I told you, I'm tired." Her tone hardened. Ethan's expression darkened. In public he was Riverdale's suave old money prince. But with Nina he never bothered to hide his possessiveness. "Nina, what temper tantrum is this?" The command rang through his words. "This is our wedding day. You should be happy." Happy she had married a two-timing cheat. Happy her husband and best friend had been sneaking around. Happy she played the clown. Oblivious. "Your phone buzzed," she said flatly. He blinked, glanced at the glowing screen, snatched it up. The instant he read the new message his face drained of color. Nina watched coldly. The last fragile bubble of hope inside her burst. "Ethan," she said, eerily calm, "we need to talk." He tightened his grip on the phone. Seconds later the counterfeit smile snapped back into place. "Talk about what?" "Nina, surely you've misunderstood." "Misunderstood?" A brittle laugh escaped her. "Blair, hubby, miss you. Hug, Ethan." "What exactly do you think I misunderstood?" The air froze. Ethan's mask cracked completely. He set the phone down, eyes turning icy. "You went through my phone, so what if I did?" She rose, meeting his stare. "I'm your wife. Checking your phone is a problem?" "Nina." His voice shot up. "What gives you the right to invade my privacy?" "Privacy?" She hurled the word back. "Sleeping with my best friend is privacy." "Ethan, have you no shame?" Hit where it hurt. He snarled. "So what do you want, a divorce?" "Nina, have you thought of the fallout? Without the Sterlings you're nothing." She studied him as if seeing him for the first time. For 5 years she'd loved him, given up opportunities, bent over backward to become his wife, only to discover she was viewed as a gold digger clinging to his dynasty. "Ethan," she said, voice steady again yet blazing with resolve. "You're right. Without the Sterlings, I'm nothing." Misreading. He smirked. "Good. You finally see reason. Blair and we're just..." "But," she cut in, "I'd rather be nothing than be your wife." She bent, scooped the 6-figure wedding gown off the carpet, and rent it clean in half. The rip echoed like a gunshot through the hushed suite. Ethan gaped, speechless. Nina tossed the shredded silk aside and strode toward the door. "Where do you think you're going?" He blocked her path. "None of your business," she answered, tone glacial. "We no longer have a relationship." "No relationship?" He barked a laugh. "You became Mrs. Sterling this very morning. Divorce isn't your unilateral decision." She held his gaze. Eyes frosted steel. "Watch me." Sidestepping him, she yanked a suitcase from the closet and began packing, watching her fold clothes with mechanical calm. Ethan realized she meant every word. "Nina, calm down," he coaxed. "Softer now. Blair and we only what?" She snapped without turning. "Only slept together. Only in love. Only waiting for the legal wife to vanish." He had no comeback. "Ethan, spare me," she said, zipping the bag. "Whatever you two share, it stops concerning me tonight. You're insane." His patience snapped. "You'd torch 5 years over Blair?" Nina barked a humorless laugh. "Ethan, your logic is dazzling. You and Blair torched us. Yet somehow it's my fault." "She was a mistake," he blurted. "Nina, you're the one I love. Blair is just enough." She cut him off. "Do I look 3 years old?" "I read every word. A marriage license is just paper. Heart belongs only to Blair. Now you claim you love me. Which woman are you lying to this time?" "Ethan?" His jaw clenched. "Those messages. I was only pacifying her." "Pacifying?" Nina's voice cracked upward. "So you were either scamming her or scamming me. Tell me, Ethan, what exactly are we to you? Silence swallowed the room. She dragged the suitcase to the threshold, then paused. Ethan, one last question. She glanced back. When did it start? He avoided her eyes. It doesn't matter. Not to you, she whispered, trembling. But to me it does. I need to know how long I've been played. Long seconds crawled before he muttered. 6 months. Nina swayed. 6 months of a 5-year relationship. 1-year engagement. 6 months of cheating while she fantasized about flower arrangements and future babies. That's all I needed. She yanked the door open. Ethan, enjoy your twisted romance. Don't you dare sicken me with it again. Nina. He lunged, but she was already gone. Out on the Connecticut mansion driveway, she waited for a cab. Night wind cut through her thin nightgown. She didn't care about clothes anymore. She never wanted to see him again. Her phone vibrated. Ethan calling. She declined and powered it off. A taxi pulled up. The driver eyed her attire in surprise. Miss, it's past 2 in the morning. You sure about heading out? Nina checked the time. 2 a.m. nearest hotel. Please. Sure thing. As the car rolled away, she saw the mansion windows still blazing. Ethan's silhouette sketched behind the glass. She didn't look back. Mid-ride, she changed her mind. Driver, take me to my parents' condo in New Jersey instead. Her parents had celebrated her triumphant marriage, but right now she craved their warmth. Nina unlocked the door to find the living room lamp still on. Helen sat on the sofa watching TV. The sight of her daughter hauling a suitcase froze her. Nina, why are you here? Isn't tonight your Mom? Ethan and I are getting divorced. Helen shot up. What? You just got married this afternoon. Robert hurried in at the commotion. Nina. What? One glance at the luggage and his face darkened. Did that bastard hurt you? Nina nodded, finally unable to hold back. Tears burst free like a broken dam. Mom. Dad. I'm sorry. I let you down. Helen rushed forward and wrapped her arms around her daughter. Silly girl. Don't say such nonsense. Tell me, what on earth happened? Between sobs, Nina recounted everything. The living room stayed silent for a long time. Robert's face was iron gray as he paced back and forth. That bastard. I knew there was nothing good in those old money dynasties. Helen trembled with anger. Cheating on your wedding day. If he dares that now, what would he do later? Nina, you did the right thing. A man like that isn't worth keeping. But Mom, if I divorce. Nina looked anxiously at her parents. Will it affect you? The sterling influence. What's there to fear? Robert slapped the table. My daughter isn't someone they can bully at will. Worst case, we pack up and leave this city. Helen squeezed Nina's hand. Nina, whatever happens, Mom and Dad support you. Money can be earned again, but dignity, once lost, can't be found. Moved. Nina burst into fresh tears. Thank you, Mom and Dad. We're family. None of that I thank you a talk. Helen studied her daughter's haggard face with heartache. Go take a shower and get some real sleep. Tomorrow's troubles can wait till tomorrow. Back in her childhood room, Nina looked at the keepsakes that had grown up with her, and warmth rushed through her. She showered, changed into clean pajamas, and was about to turn in when her phone rang. Once it booted, she saw more than a dozen missed calls, all from Ethan. There were also several texts. Nina, where are you? Come home so we can talk. I know I was wrong. Give me one more chance. Nina, the one I love is you, not Blair. Reading them, Nina felt nothing but bitter irony. Now you know you were wrong. Where were you before? She was about to power off when Blair's call came through. Nina hesitated, then picked up. Nina. Blair sounded like she'd been crying. I'm sorry. It's all my fault. Why are you crying? Nina's voice was eerily calm. You stole my husband. Shouldn't you be happy? Nina, let me explain. Explain what? How you two got together behind my back. How you performed that perfect act in front of me. Blair sobbed harder. We really did fall in love. But we never wanted to hurt you. Didn't want to hurt me? Nina gave a cold laugh. So you decided to hide it. Blair, we were roommates for 4 years. Best friends for 5. Did you honestly think that wouldn't hurt me? Nina, why did you call? Hoping I'll congratulate you. Or forgive you. Silence answered from the other end. If that's what you want. You dialed the wrong number. Nina hung up without hesitation. Ethan's call followed immediately. This time she didn't answer. She blocked his number. Then she blocked Blair's as well. When it was done, Nina felt a surprising lightness. She opened her contacts. Looked at the so-called friends whose fake smiles had filled the wedding. Imagined the gossip behind her back. And ruthlessly deleted more than half of them. Sometimes life demands you let go, especially of people who aren't worth keeping. The next day Nina slept until she woke naturally, 1 in the afternoon. Her mom, Helen, had prepared lunch, every dish a favorite. Eat more. Nina, you've lost weight. Nina had little appetite, but she forced herself to take a few bites. Mom, I want to go to the studio. Helen eyed her worriedly. In this state, I'm fine. Work will keep my mind busy. She needed something to do. Otherwise, she'd spiral into dark thoughts. She drove to her bridal design atelier in Manhattan, the small shop she'd opened after college. college. It wasn't large, but business had always been steady. She had just parked when she spotted a familiar Bentley at the curb. Ethan leaned against it. The moment he saw her, he strode over. Nina, you finally showed up. Nina frowned. How did you know I'd be here? I've been waiting all morning. Exhaustion shadowed his eyes. Nina, can we talk? There's nothing to discuss. She sidestepped toward the entrance. He caught her wrist. Yesterday I was out of my mind. I've told Blair there's nothing between us. Nina yanked free. Ethan, do you take me for an idiot? I'm telling the truth. Panic edged his voice. Blair came after me. I lost my head for a moment, but my heart was always with you. Then how do you explain those texts? A marriage certificate is just a piece of paper. Only Blair's in my heart? Ethan's face drained of color. Those were just words to pacify her, not what I really felt. So either you lied to her, or you're lying to me. Nina stared at him, ice cold. Ethan, you can't even figure out who you love? Why bother claiming you're speaking the truth? I love you. It burst from him like a shout. Nina, from start to finish. It's always been you. Curious pedestrians were starting to stare. Mortified, Nina said, lower your voice. If you must talk, do it inside. They stepped into the studio. Nina brewed herself a cup of tea. She offered Ethan nothing. All right. What do you want? He drew a shaky breath. I know you're furious, but please give me one more chance. Let's start over. I swear I'll never start over. Nina cut in. Ethan, do you honestly think that's possible? Why not? We've loved each other 5 years. Loved? A brittle laugh escaped her. Ethan, are you sure you know what love is? Do people who love each other cheat during the engagement, get caught on their wedding night, and still act self-righteous? Ethan had no reply. I admit I messed up, but everyone makes mistakes. If you can just forgive me, forgive. Nina stood and walked up to him. Ethan, do you think this is some trivial slip? You betrayed our love, our marriage vows, my trust. This wasn't a mistake. It was a choice. Her voice stayed calm, yet every word drove like a blade into Ethan's heart. You chose Blair, chose betrayal, chose lies. Now that you've been found out, you choose to come back. Ethan, what am I to you? Back up. No, Nina, you're the one I love most. The one you love most? A flash of pain crossed her eyes. Would you hurt the one you love most? Would you betray her? Ethan, your love comes cheap. Looking at her, Ethan suddenly felt he was facing a stranger. The old Nina had been gentle, kind, never uttering a sharp word. This woman was covered in thorns. Every sentence found his weakest spot. You've changed. Yes, I have. Nina didn't deny it. The taste of being betrayed by the person you love most does speed up your growth. Then there's really no hope for us? Nina gazed at him for a long time before she spoke. Ethan, if I could turn back time, I wish I had never met you. Ethan's face turned deathly pale at those words. He opened his mouth, but nothing came out. Nina walked to her work table, began sorting her sketches, back to him, and said, you can leave now. Nina, I said, you can leave. Her voice carried zero warmth. And don't come looking for me again. Ethan stood there a long while before he finally walked out. The sound of the car door shutting echoed. Nina exhaled in relief. She thought she'd feel heartbroken, but all she sensed was lightness. Some people, some things, once you see their true face, there's no going back. She plunged into work, using busyness as an anesthetic. Near dusk, Assistant Mia returned. Nina, what are you doing here? Shouldn't you be on your honeymoon? Nina lifted her head and, deciding the girl who'd been with her 2 years deserved the truth, said, Mia, Ethan and I are divorced. What? Mia nearly dropped the coffee in her hand. How did that happen? Nina gave a brief account. By the end Mia was seething. That cheater. Nina, you did the right thing. A scumbag like him isn't worth a single tear. I know. Nina managed a bitter smile. Still, those 5 years feel like a dream. Waking up is what matters. Mia comforted her. You're amazing, Nina. You'll meet someone far better. Nina shook her head. I'm not thinking about romance for now. Career first, right? Work never betrays you. Mia thumped her chest. Nina, I'll give you everything I've got. Nina was actually amused by her own reflection. It was the first genuine smile she'd cracked all day. Work really was the best medicine. For the next several days Nina buried herself in her studio, sketching half a dozen brand new wedding gown designs. On the 5th afternoon an unexpected visitor appeared. Ethan's mother, Eleanor. The grande dame was dressed with flawless elegance, but her expression was ice cold. Nina, I believe we need to talk. Nina invited her to sit and poured her a cup of tea. Mrs. Sterling, please go ahead. Eleanor came straight to the point. Nina, I know you and Ethan have had some unpleasantness, but you are husband and wife. Surely anything can be discussed? Nina answered calmly. I'm afraid Ethan hasn't told you the whole story. He said it was only a small misunderstanding. A small misunderstanding? Nina sneered. Mrs. Sterling, would you call your son's cheating a small misunderstanding? Eleanor's complexion flickered. Cheating. Ethan cheated? Nina slid her phone across the table. screenshots of the chat history glowing on the screen. Eleanor's face went slate gray. That wretch, she hissed, trembling. Nina, on behalf of the Sterling family, I offer our apology. You don't need to apologize. Mrs. Sterling, this isn't your fault. Eleanor drew a long breath to steady herself. Nina, I know Ethan has done you wrong, but he is still my son. I hope you'll give him one more chance. I swear he'll never. Mrs. Sterling. Nina cut her off. Some things don't get a second chance. Nina, I understand your anger, but a hasty divorce helps no one. Think of your parents. Think of your future. That sentence crossed Nina's line. Mrs. Sterling, are you threatening me? Realizing her blunder, Eleanor hurried to explain. Not a threat, merely facts. Once you leave the Sterling family, you and your loved ones, enough. Nina rose. Mrs. Sterling, please leave. Nina, please leave. Nina's tone allowed no argument. Seeing her resolve, Eleanor knew further words were useless. She stood and smoothed her skirt. Nina, I hope you won't regret today's decision. I never will. After Eleanor left, Mia fumed. Who does she think she is? Threatening people. Nina gave a wan smile. That's how old money dynasties operate. They assume money fixes everything. Nina, you're not scared, are you? Scared of what? A steely glint flashed in Nina's eyes. I may come from an ordinary family, but I'm nobody's doormat. The morning after Eleanor's visit, Nina felt the Sterling family's goodwill firsthand. First, her landlord called. Someone had made a generous cash offer for the Manhattan building, and he wanted her out as soon as possible. Next, the bank informed her that her business loan must be repaid in full immediately. Then 3 longtime clients abruptly canceled their commissions. Mia stomped around the studio. Outrageous. Ethan's the one at fault. Why are they punishing you? Nina stayed calm. Old money playbook. When soft tactics fail, they swing the hammer. What do we do? Meet force with force. Nina picked up her phone. I'm calling my attorney. She dialed Leo, her college classmate and now a high-profile divorce lawyer in New York. Nina, long time no hear. Leo sounded delighted. Leo, I need help. She gave him a concise rundown. What? That bastard Ethan. Leo exploded. Don't worry. I'm taking this case pro bono. End of discussion. Leo, no arguments. If you hadn't stood up for me back then, those rich punks would have pounded me into pulp. Now it's my turn to protect you. Nina remembered those college days. Quiet, cash-strapped Leo bullied by trust fund kids until she chased them off and smuggled him extra meals from the cafeteria. Thanks, Leo. Family doesn't say thanks. Sit tight. I'm on my way. An hour later Leo strode in with his assistant. The once scrawny boy had become a broad-shouldered man in a tailored suit. Nina, you look exhausted, he said gently. I'll bounce back. She poured him tea. Legally, how strong is our position? You hold all the cards. Ethan's adultery is documented. The evidence is rock solid, Leo analyzed. But the Sterlings are powerful. They'll fight dirty. Like today? Exactly. We'll handle it. He slid a folder across the table. Here's the divorce petition. Because Ethan cheated. You can claim hefty emotional damages. Nina skimmed the figures. I don't want their money. It's what the law says you're owed. I just want out. Clean break. No strings. Her voice was final. Leo knew better than to push. All right, we'll do it your way. There's more, Nina added. They're sabotaging my business. Any quick counter moves? Easy. Leo tapped his phone. I have friends in the press. We leak Ethan's little adventure. Old money scandals sell front pages. Risky? Nah. You've got proof. Why hesitate? Leo's smile was cold. The Sterlings want hardball. Let's play. Nina hesitated, then nodded. Do it. That afternoon an explosive headline rocketed to the top of every trending list. High society wedding night shocker. Sterling heir caught cheating with college friend. The article reprinted Ethan and Blair's steamy chats and published photos of their secret trysts in the Hamptons. The internet lost its mind. OMG. Cheating on your wedding night. Scum level 1000. Poor Nina. So this is what marrying into old money dreams looks like. Blair's shameless. She actually called him hubby. Divorce him. Trash belongs in the bin. Sterling Industries stock dropped 3 points by the closing bell. Ethan phoned. Nina sent him straight to voicemail. He dispatched his secretary. Nina had Mia show the door. That evening Eleanor returned. This time her smile was syrup. Nina, we were wrong. And I apologize. Nina regarded her frostily. Now you apologize. Mrs. Sterling? It was all a misunderstanding, Eleanor simpered. Nina, let's settle. Ethan made a mistake. We're prepared to compensate you. Name your price. Just don't divorce him. Mrs. Sterling, do I look like I need money? No. What I meant, flustered. Eleanor grasped for words. Think of your parents, Nina, for their sake. The mention of her family detonated Nina's temper. Threaten my family again and I'll release the rest of Ethan's greatest hits. Eleanor's face blanched. You have more? Take a guess. Nina's smile was blade thin. You know how colorful your son's social life is. Mrs. Sterling, the older woman panicked. You can't. You'll ruin Ethan. And when I was being ruined, where were you? Eleanor had no answer. After a long silence she asked, what do you want? I've told you, a divorce. Nothing more. Anything but that. Nina stood. Then we're finished. Good night, Mrs. Sterling. Nina, Eleanor called desperately. Don't be so heartless. Ethan realizes he was wrong. Realizes? Nina turned back. Then why isn't he here apologizing himself? Why send his mother? He doesn't dare face you. Too scared to see me, yet brave enough to let his family threaten me? Nina's voice dropped to ice. This is the son you raised, Mrs. Sterling? Crimson crept up Eleanor's neck, but she still pleaded. I'm begging you. Give Ethan one more chance. Chances aren't gifts others hand out, Nina retorted. They're earned. Has Ethan ever tried? 6 months of cheating. Nina cut in. The night I found out he didn't apologize, he threatened me. Said without the Sterlings, I'm nothing. That's how he values our marriage? Eleanor was speechless. He really said that? Ask him yourself. The color drained from Eleanor's face. Finally she sighed. Nina, I apologize on Ethan's behalf. He had no right. Apologies should come from the man who hurt me. If he comes and apologizes in person, will you forgive him? Nina looked at Eleanor, whose face was full of hope, and shook her head. No. Why not? Because some wounds, once made, can't be undone. Nina's voice was soft but steady. Mrs. Sterling, your son didn't just cheat. He shattered my trust and love, my faith in marriage, my dreams for the future. Once those things are broken, they can't be put back together. Listening, Eleanor suddenly understood. The girl in front of her seemed fragile, but inside she was stronger than anyone. Once she made up her mind, she would never turn back. I understand. Eleanor rose slowly. Nina, I won't trouble you anymore. Thank you for understanding. At the door Eleanor turned. Nina, may I ask you something? Go ahead. If Ethan hadn't cheated, would you have been happy? Nina hesitated, thinking for a long time before answering. Mrs. Sterling, there's no if. Eleanor gave a bitter smile and left. After seeing Eleanor out, Nina felt as if a mountain had been lifted from her shoulders. She took out her phone and texted Leo. Leo, we can file the suit at New York Supreme Court. The next day Ethan finally showed up. He looked haggard, eyes bloodshot, as if he hadn't slept for days. Nina, I've come to apologize. His voice was hoarse the moment he spoke. Nina sat at her work table without lifting her head. Go on. I'm sorry. It was all my fault. I shouldn't have cheated. Shouldn't have lied. Shouldn't have threatened you when you found out. His voice was low. Nina, I truly know I was wrong. And then, I hope you can forgive me so we can start over. Nina set down her pencil and looked up. Ethan, do you think an apology is enough? I know it's not, so I'm willing to spend my whole life making it up to you. A lifetime? Nina gave a cold laugh. Ethan, you couldn't even last half a year. And you talk about a lifetime? Ethan was choked into silence. Nina, I swear I'll never. Swear? Nina cut him off. How much is your word worth? When you proposed you swore you'd love me forever, never betray me. And the result? Ethan's face grew darker. Nina, everyone makes mistakes. Mistakes? Nina's voice shot up. Ethan, cheating isn't a mistake. It's a choice. You chose betrayal, chose another woman, chose to hurt me. Spare me. Nina stood and walked up to him. Tell me, if I hadn't seen your phone last night, how long were you planning to hide it from me? Ethan lowered his head, unable to meet her eyes. Answer me. I was going to break up with Blair. When? After a while. Nina was finished with him. Ethan, you're still lying. You never intended to break up with her. You just wanted both of us. It's not enough. Nina returned to her work table. Ethan, please leave and don't ever come back. Nina, I really love you. Love me? Nina didn't look back. Someone who loves me wouldn't hurt me. Ethan stood there a long time, then finally left. Only when he was far away did Nina unclench the pencil she had been gripping. Her hand trembled, but her eyes were steadier than ever. 1 week later the summons reached the Sterling mansion in Connecticut. Ethan stared at the document, his face storm dark. He hadn't expected Nina to actually file for divorce and demand she walk away with nothing. Young master, what now? His secretary asked asked cautiously. Find the best attorney money can buy. Ethan ground his teeth. I don't believe I can't make this difficult for her. Young master. Actually, Nina's request isn't excessive. She isn't asking for anything. What do you know? Ethan slammed the desk. She's humiliating me. Letting the whole world know she considers sterling money dirty. The secretary fell silent. Ethan picked up the phone and called the family's chief legal counsel. Attorney, I need you to handle a divorce for me. Young Mr. Sterling, I know a bit about your situation. To be honest, the odds are against you. Why? You cheated first, and the other side has solid evidence. And since Nina is demanding nothing, the judge will have every reason to grant the divorce. Ethan was quiet a long while, then stall, however long you can. Young Mr. Sterling, dragging it out won't help much. I said stall. So stall. The attorney sighed. Understood. I'll do my best. Meanwhile, Nina was in her studio giving an exclusive sit-down to a reporter from the New York Times. Nina, why did you choose to walk away with nothing? Nina answered calmly. Because I don't want dirty money. Some netizens say you're just grandstanding. Grandstanding? Nina gave a cold laugh. Reporter, if losing a husband, a marriage, and all faith in love counts as grandstanding, the price is a little steep. Do you have anything to say to Ethan? Looking straight into the camera, Nina said, Ethan, when you chose betrayal, you chose its consequences. I, Nina, come from an ordinary family, but I'm not someone to be trampled on. When the interview aired, the internet exploded. Most netizens sided with Nina. This woman has backbone, choosing dignity over a cheater's money, respect. Ethan doesn't deserve a wife like her. A few voices questioned. Sounds noble? Who knows what she took behind closed doors? Walking away empty-handed is just for show, right? But those doubts were quickly drowned by the tide of support. Sterling Industries' stock price kept sliding, and Ethan's grandfather, Malcolm Sterling, couldn't sit still. He summoned Ethan to the study and exploded the moment the door opened. Ungrateful wretch. Look what you've done. Grandfather, silence. Malcolm's whole body shook with rage. You've disgraced the Sterling name. Grandfather, what's the use of scolding me now? What's the use? Malcolm struck him with his cane. Go apologize to Nina this instant. Beg her forgiveness. I tried. She won't forgive me. Then keep trying. Malcolm roared. Kneel if you must. Grandfather, she's already filed for divorce. Then make her drop the suit. Whatever it costs. Looking at his grandfather's fury, Ethan finally grasped how serious things were. Grandfather, is it really that bad? Bad, Malcolm sneered. In 3 days, we've lost 3 major clients and the stock's down 10%. And that's only the beginning. Ethan's face turned white. Moreover, Malcolm continued, that girl is clever. She's cast herself as the victim and us as villains. Public sympathy is on her side. This kind of pressure will scare off even more partners. What do we do? What else? Beg her to forgive you. Malcolm raised the cane again. You caused this mess. Ethan winced, but didn't dare resist. Grandfather, what if she still refuses? Then you keep begging until she does. Malcolm added one last order. Remember, be utterly sincere. Kneel if you have to. Cry if you must. Face means nothing. Money is everything. Humiliation burned in Ethan's chest, but reality left him no choice. I understand, grandfather. Go, now. Ethan left the study, his face black with rage. He thought of Nina's determined face and felt both angry and helpless. Was this woman really driving him into a corner? Nina was sketching at her drafting table when she heard noise outside. Mia rushed in. Nina, come look. She stepped outside and saw Ethan kneeling in front of the Manhattan boutique while a crowd snapped photos. Nina, I know I was wrong. Please forgive me, he shouted. I'll do anything to make it up to you. More people gathered, some filming, some whispering. Isn't that the Sterling heir cheater? Kneeling to say sorry. Must be a stunt. Stunt or not, at least he's showing remorse. Nina gazed at Ethan on his knees and felt nothing. She turned back inside. Close up. We're not open today, but outside, let him kneel. Nina's voice was calm. He can stay as long as he wants. Mia locked the door and drew the curtains. Outside, Ethan kept yelling, Nina, I know you're in there. Please come out. Nina put on her headphones and went back to her sketches, as if the world outside no longer existed. Ethan knelt the entire morning. His legs went numb, yet Nina never appeared. A reporter who'd caught wind of the scene hurried over and snapped photo after photo. Mr. Sterling, why are you kneeling here to apologize? I hurt the person I love most. It's what I deserve, Ethan answered through clenched teeth. Nina hasn't come out. Is there anything you'd like to say? I'll keep waiting until she forgives me. The noon sun was vicious. Ethan's sweat poured off him in streams, but he stayed on his knees. A passerby couldn't bear it. It's brutal out here. Why don't you get up and rest a minute? No, thank you. Ethan shook his head. This is my burden to bear. In the afternoon, Eleanor and Malcolm arrived. Ethan, get up. This solves solves nothing, Eleanor said, anguished. Mom, I can't stand. Ethan's voice was already weak. I have to let Nina see how sincere I am. Malcolm scanned the swelling crowd, face dark. Move along. Nothing to see. But the onlookers didn't disperse. More kept coming. Someone started a live stream, Old Money Air kneeling for forgiveness, 5 hours and counting. Sun's blazing and he's still there. My heart hurts just watching. Nina hasn't shown once, she's holding the line. Netizens weighed in. Is this genuine remorse or pure theater? Cheating is cheating. Kneeling is the least he can do. Nina is right. No mercy. But never showing up seems heartless. At 6 p.m. Ethan finally collapsed. His family forced him into an ambulance and rushed him to Mount Sinai Hospital. The doctor said it was heat stroke. He needed fluids and rest. Nina watched the ambulance leave on her studio's security feed before she stepped outside. A handful of reporters were still waiting. They surrounded her the instant she appeared. Nina. Mr. Sterling knelt 8 straight hours. Why wouldn't you see him? Nina paused. Calm. Because kneeling doesn't prove real repentance. What would it take for you to forgive him? Nothing. Betrayal is betrayal. No apology can rewrite that fact. But he looked so sincere. Sincere? Nina gave a cold laugh. If he were sincere, why didn't he think of my feelings while he was cheating? Why did he threaten me once he was caught? Now he kneels only because the scandal hurts the Sterling brand. The reporters were struck silent. She went on. Let me leave every reporter here with this. Wounds aren't erased by sorries. Some choices are permanent. There's no way back. She turned and walked away. The next day, every major outlet ran Nina's words, sparking fresh uproar. Online opinion split. Supporters, exactly, cheating is cheating. What good is sorry? Critics, everyone makes mistakes. Why not give a second chance? Nina's stance stayed rock solid. Forgiveness was off the table. In his hospital room, Ethan scrolled through the coverage, his face growing darker. He hadn't expected Nina to be this unyielding, to leave him zero room. Young master, what now? His secretary asked carefully. Ethan was silent a long moment. Then a flash of ruthlessness crossed his eyes. If she wants to play, we'll play to the end. After discharge, Ethan became a different man. No more begging, no more kneeling. He went on the attack. First stop, an exclusive sit-down with a major network. Host, I admit I was wrong, but Nina's reaction is over the top. Ethan sat in the studio wearing an injured look. I apologized and accepted full responsibility, yet she won't even see me. How do you view Nina's attitude? I understand her rage, but everyone errs. She should give me a chance to reform instead of writing me off completely. Some viewers say it was all theater. Theater? Ethan gave a bitter smile. I knelt 8 hours in front of crowds and nearly got heat stroke. That's theater. I'm trying everything to save our marriage. So what are your plans? I'll keep striving until she forgives me, and I hope the public can stay rational and not be blinded by someone else's performance. The interview aired and sentiment online began to tilt. A minority took Ethan's side. He knelt. What more do you want? Isn't Nina being too cold? Feels like she's hyping herself, refusing to forgive on purpose. But the majority still backed Nina. Cheating is cheating, apologies are pointless. That jerk deserves it. Nina is right, no mercy. Nina watched the segment, trembling with anger. Shameless. Absolutely shameless. Mia raged. He's the one who cheated and now he accuses you of putting on a show? Nina cooled down. He wants to muddy the waters. Make it look like we're both at fault. What do we do? Meet fire with fire. Nina picked up her phone. I'll give an interview and lay out the facts. That afternoon she sat down with the same outlet. Nina, how do you respond to Mr. Sterling's remarks? Calmly Nina said, he claims I won't give him a chance to change. I ask, did he ever give me a choice? Could you elaborate? He cheated for 6 months and kept me in the dark the entire time. For half a year, he played the loving husband by day and whispered promises to another woman by night. Tell me, where was my choice in that? The host had no answer. She continued, he says I should give him a second chance. So let me ask, if I hadn't found his phone last night, when exactly was he planning to reform? Was he going to deceive me forever? So there's truly no chance now? Chances go both ways. Nina's gaze was steady. The instant he chose betrayal, he forfeited ours. Now that he's exposed, he wants a chance. On what grounds? But he really is trying to win you back. Trying? Nina snorted. Where's the effort? Kneeling equals effort. Then why didn't he bother to control himself while he was cheating? The second interview aired and detonated another round of headlines. Nina's clear logic and forceful rebuttal won even broader support. Still, Ethan refused to concede. He brought Blair along for a joint exclusive. The truth is, Ethan and I are in love. Blair wept prettily. We never meant to hurt Nina, but feelings aren't something you can switch off. What do you think of Nina's present attitude? I understand her pain. I'd be devastated too. Blair played the grown-up. But if they're not in love anymore, why can't she let us be? A forced marriage helps no one. Ethan nodded beside her. Exactly. My marriage to Nina was a arranged by our families. Blair is my true love. The clip ignited the internet. Let you be. Victims must bless the cheater now? True love. Then why marry her? Why not speak up sooner? These two are a perfect trash match. Nina watched and actually smiled. Nina, how can you laugh? Mia fumed. They're digging their own graves. Nina set her phone down. Ethan just said our marriage was family arranged and Blair is his true love. Right? Yeah. Makes my blood boil. Then let's grant their wish. She dialed Leo. Leo, speed up the divorce. I want this liar out of my life ASAP. On it. After hanging up she told Mia, if they're so desperate to be together, I'll oblige. Nina. Mia, some people aren't worth our anger. Nina lifted her sketch pencil. We focus on living well, and let them live to regret it. 1 month later the judge signed the final decree. Nina walked away without a dime of sterling money. Stepping out of New York Supreme Court, sunlight on her face, she smiled at the cameras. From this day on, I, Nina, start anew. Thanks for listening to today's story. If you enjoyed it, please like and share with friends. We'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe for more gripping tales. See you next time.